Out picking dandelion blooms. Alright, y'all. We ended up with probably, I'm just guessing, probably about 4 cups if you pack them. That's our dandelion petals after we separated them. I felt like we done pretty good keeping most of the green out. If there's a little speck of green here and there, ain't gonna hurt, but we try to use just the petals only. Alright, I've got 4 cups of dandelion petals, and I added 5 cups of water. We're gonna get that on. I've been letting it sit here and soak and steep. You can see the water's already starting to turn the color we want. And next thing I'm gonna do is get some heat going on this and sit here. I'm not gonna bring it to a great big hard, not like a rolling boil. I just want it to barely start to boil for a little bit, y'all. All right, guys. We have let our dandelions set in water and steep for about 2 hours. Then we put them on a medium heat for about another, I'm going to say hour and a half. Now we're going to turn the heat up a little bit, and we don't want a rolling boil on this. We just want it to where it's starting to boil, y'all. And once it gets to that point, we'll be ready to strain it off, see what happens. All right, y'all. It's boiling, and that's about all the boil I want to do. Like I said, I don't want to overheat too much of anything, so we're gonna turn this off and try to get this stuff strained down. All right, y'all, we're just trying to get this strained off now, and that's what our mix is gonna look like. This is more or less a brewed tea right now, and we're gonna start adding the sugar and lemon juice stuff to it. We're gonna make the dandelion honey first, and then we're gonna try to make a jelly. And as soon as we get this strained, we'll get it back on the stove and let y'all see what we're doing. Oh, it's hot. All right, we got our liquid in there. We're gonna have 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. All right, y'all, it's starting to boil, and we've let it boil for about 1 minute. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna start with 2 cups of sugar. We got that thing at a pretty good little boil. We're gonna mix this sugar in there. And the thing about now, once we mix this sugar and we start stirring, we've got to let it boil for 1 minute, but we've got to pretty much constantly stir it to keep this sugar dissolved from burning on the bottom. Alright, so we got to do this. Kind of let that dissolve a little bit. Make sure we get it all stirred up. Let it come back to a boil and boil for 1 minute. I'm hoping we can get it back to a boil here pretty quick. Feel like most of the sugar's dissolved. Alright, we're gonna let that come back to a boil, and then we'll boil it for 1 minute, y'all. Alright, y'all. We got it up to our boil, shut our heat off. Everything frothed up like it's supposed to. Look like the sugar mixed in good. We're fixing to get this in our jars. We've got our tops over here sterilized, and try to get these things sealed up, y'all. Alright, y'all, we got our honey, our dandelion honey mixed up, got it in our jars. We tried to keep them pretty even, about 1/4 inch from the top. Got our rings and lids sterilized. Gonna get them on there. Oh, man, that's hot. Woo! Alright. We're gonna do, we're gonna flip these things, and we're gonna turn them upside down for about 5 minutes, y'all. We're gonna let them set that way. And what we're trying to do is just make sure that this thing's hot. We got our lids boiling, we got our mixture boiling, everything's hot. We're gonna let it seal together, and that way if there is any kind of contaminant or anything got on that lid, at least we're trying to keep it sterilized with the heat right now. Alright, y'all, we got our liquid in here, our dandelion tea in here for our dandelion jelly. We added a couple drops of food coloring to it. We're going to add this pack of pectin. We've just now got it boiling again. We're going to add this pack of pectin to it. One pack, 1.75 ounces, I think is what it is. And we're going to stir that up, get it dissolved good. Let it boil for about a minute, 1 to 2 minutes. And then we'll add our sugar. Alright, y'all, it's been boiling for about a minute with the pectin. Now we're going to add our sugar. We're adding 3 cups of sugar to it. We're going to stir that in, get it dissolved down, liquefied, and then we're going to turn around and let it boil for another minute to 2 minutes. Alright, y'all, the jelly is done. We're fixing to start putting it in the jars, and a lot of people will take and strain this little froth. I call it froth. It's just like the sugary film, but I'm not going to worry about it, y'all. If it's on the top of the jar, just be on top of the jar. But you can take and just kind of skim this off the top if you want to. But anyway, y'all, we're going to get this in the jars so we can start setting up. Alright, guys. These two over here are dandelion honey. These two over here is the two we added pectin to and made a jelly out of. We're just going to let them set upside down for about 5 minutes, flip them back over, and then wait for this stuff to set up, see how it turned out, y'all. Y'all, we poured some of that dandelion jelly out in a pan so it'll cool. I want y'all to look at the texture of it. See it shaking? And it tastes kind of like honey, but I tell y'all the truth, I added a little bit more lemon to give it a little tartness, and it blended really well with the lemon and the sugar. But there's our dandelion jelly, y'all.